All right, ladies and gentlemen. We have basically 4 sections to do, and we will also be starting to reviewing for the final exam. So that's good, right? Come to the end of the semester. Yeah.
4 sections to every semester?
I have 4 lectures left. And that's what we'll be hitting on a little bit today. And I'll also hand out the review for the final exam. Yay! Which it's a part of the review. There's 2 parts to it, or 3 parts to it. Maybe. I'll make it more than 1, less than 4,000. All right. I have not completely done grading your tests from yesterday. I'll have those done in the grade book. Excuse me. Wow, I'm so sorry. I'm glad the lid is on. Okay, so few things to be on the lookout for, just so you're aware. Someone grab the lights, please. So all of our tests and all of our quizzes, everything that we have in this class that we've done so far and that we will do up until the day before we take our final exam accounts for 85% of your semester grade. You guys still following me in this adventure? Then a final exam is taken, and it's a couple parts. Don't worry, don't panic. It's worth 15%. So if you had 100% of everything done here, 100% of everything done here, you could have the grade of 100% in the class. I'm going to tell you that no one's there. Okay? There's people who have A's, but they don't have 100% of everything correctly done in the class, which is what it is. So, is this a test that you should blow off?
No.
Is this a test that maybe you should wait the day before, or maybe breakfast that morning to maybe look over your notes? Is this a test that you should take lightly?
No.
That test, if you do really well on it, could improve your grade. If you do very poorly on it, could drop your grade. Okay? Now, what happens with most students? Most students, if you are in the range of these grades, 63 to 67, if you are 73 to 77, if you are 83 to 87, if you are at 93 plus, most of the time, your grade going into the final does not change by a letter grade.
And the sis gave it to me.
Oh, thanks, Bob. Okay? So, those particular grades, if you are in that range, you're more than likely going to keep your same letter grade. Okay? How do I know that? Because I've taught for a long time, I understand how math works. This test here, if you fell into, say, this category right here, on your final exam, you would probably, and this is just through experience, and yes, there is always the exception to the rule, but I'm not talking about the exception to the rule because you're talking about such a far outlier. Most of the time, that person there will earn somewhere between a 65 and an 85% on the final, if you already fell into the B range. Okay? That doesn't take you to a negative place as far as your grade goes. Okay, so if you take the minimum of those grades up there, you have, let's say you're going into the final with 83% times 0.85. So in 83, that person gets a 65% on the final. So minimum grade here, minimum grade here. That person comes out with an 80.3%, which is a B. Decent?
Yes.
Sure. Is that a pretty nice range that that person with an 83% should be targeting? Yeah, I mean, you're talking 20%. Is that where you want your grade to be? The person says, hey, I have an 83%, what can I do to get an A? Nothing. You had the entire year to get to the appropriate point value. There's a time mathematically when it's impossible to get to the A. And no, it's not messed up. It's mathematical. It's messed up that society thinks that you should get a trophy even though you didn't earn it. Okay, so just be very aware of what this final exam could do for you. Okay, it's a good test. It's well put together. Don't blow it off. Now, here's another thing that we need to address for you all. Okay, cheating. If you're caught cheating and it's your first offense here at Cherry Creek High School, this is the list of events that take place. You get to meet with teacher. Okay, usually that teacher's the one who caught you doing the bad thing. Second thing, you get to call home, and then teacher gets to talk once you have said, yeah, I was caught with the wrong information. Third step, that teacher has to email the dean, your dean, and the department chair. Fourth step, this is the first time you get caught cheating. You get to visit your dean, and you get some sort of, bad stuff, punishment. Could be supervised detention or anything. It just depends, it's case by case basis. If you're a really bad kid, you could be suspended. Fifth thing, this goes on your record here at Creek. Okay? Now, this first time offense, and then you get a 0 points on your activity. Now, I know I always joke around and say, hey, yeah, you can work together, but you're going to get the sum of the two scores between the two of you divided in half. That's what you each get, which is pretty bad. I say that because I don't want you to cheat, because most of you realize, that means if I got 100% and I cheated, that would be 50% that we each get. That stinks. Okay, if you had an 80%, it means you each get 40%. I say that jokingly because this is really everything that comes about. If you get caught in any of your other classes for the rest of high school here at Cherry Creek, step 1 takes place, step 2 takes place, step 3 takes place, step 4 takes place with a suspension of 3 to 5 days. Okay? This now goes onto your transcript, and you get the 0 on the test. What does it mean if it's on your transcript? That means colleges are going to see it. Guess what colleges are not going to take you on, you got, the cheating policy was this, and you did it twice? Okay? So, if you got caught in one class as a freshman, you have, and you're gonna be here your whole senior year. You have over 3.5 years left to make sure you're a model citizen. This happens a third time, 10-day suspension, possible expulsion. Means they kick you out of Cherry Creek High School. You gotta go find another high school to go to. Okay? So you need to take cheating as a serious thing. It is not okay to steal somebody else's work for your own. Now, does that mean I don't want you working together on homework? Heck, work together on homework. Work through it. Talk with each other. Now, you know what stinks? You see the kids sitting there going, oh, I'm just copying down what my neighbor did. For 4 points? Because that right there could lead to that first infraction, right? You know? So be very cautious how you all are approaching self-serving yourself what you think is okay. Because I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't want to get kicked out of this school. Okay? If you go with expulsion, that means you are suspended from the school for 180 days. So if it was like March of your freshman year, that means 180 days mean calendar school days. That means the following March of your sophomore year, you could reapply to come back. Don't do it. Don't get caught in that activity. Okay? Have I caught students cheating? Yes. Fortunately, I've only had the first time offenses. It wasn't, they were cheating in other classes as well. So that cheating carries through every class. So it's like, oh, I got caught. I can cheat, one time in math, and I can cheat one time in science. You get caught, that's 2 strikes. Don't do it. I guarantee it's not worth. I have more respect for kids when they tried the best they could and earned the grade that they actually earned. It's really disheartening when you catch somebody that's being dishonest, because the best and worst thing can take place. One of the best things about people is trust, but it's one of the easiest things to lose. Once you lose someone's trust, it's really tough to gain that person's trust back. So you gotta just take that however you need to take it and think about what your actions could do. I'll tell you what, think about it. If your actions, some of you, when you got here, were 13. So from your age is basically range of from 13 to 18 years of age. Your actions could dictate if you get to go to college. Because part of the college application process is you submit all of your transcripts from all of your high schools. And guess what one of the first things they look at? Take a look at the transcripts. Yes, they got a diploma. Oh, cheating. Disclaimer about Cherry Creek's cheating policy. You get the thin letter from the college. The thin letter is the one saying you weren't accepted. The thick one's the good one. That's the one going, it's got the housing, it's got the food plan, it's got all the classes. Congratulations, you've been accepted too. We love having you. The thin one's not the one you want. I just need to warn you, you've got to be cautious on this. You've got to be. And the big thing is, you don't want to ever create that doubt that something's taking place, because collusion of cheating is you allowing your neighbor to look off of your paper. So you're giving away your information, and you can get the exact same problems. Don't do it. Don't get caught. And the hard thing is, when you got your friends that are here, and your friend's a putz and doesn't want to do their own work, might not be the friend to have. Okay? A term that I have heard for many years is losers love company. Don't allow some loser to persuade you to go against what your ethical beliefs are. It's not worth it. Got it?
Yep.
Sound good? Woo, got it. All right, some notes. System of linear equations. So this is very similar to what we've been doing. We will be, today and tomorrow, graphing linear equations and finding out where they cross, or if they don't cross, or if they cross multiple times. So I can solve a system by graphing both equations and finding their intersection point. Okay? That's where we're getting to. This is where your notes are starting. Okay, so I'm going to do this first line. We will make this one red. What is my y-intercept of that line?
-3.
-3. So I'm going to come down here. 1, 2, 3. Put a dot. And my slope is what? Up 2 and over 1. So from here, 1, 2, over 1. Yeah, buddy.
Do you mind if I borrow this pen?
That's yours. Go ahead. I keep it there for you always. So, with a straight edge would be the preferred way of doing this. That's our first line. Second line, y-intercept is -1. Slope is 1, so up 1, right 1. And again, straight edge it. Blue. Where does it appear these two lines intersect each other? 2, 1, right here. Agreed? So a wise thing to do when you're doing this is you can plug those back in to make sure that that truly is the right point. Because could you make an error graphing? Sure. So plug these back in. You have an x value and a y value. Agreed? So if I plug my x and y value in to each equation, I get 1 equals 2 times 2 minus 3. 1 equals 4 minus 3. What does that equal to? That means that this point exists on this line. That works. Let's try it on our other one. Plug my x and y value in. Is that true as well? That particular point falls on both lines. That particular point is the solution to this problem. It is at the intersection of the two lines. So things you should notice about these lines. They don't have the same slopes. They don't have the same y-intercepts. Lines that don't have the same slopes and the same y-intercepts will intersect each other. Do they have to intersect at a nice even point? No. It's going to be, could be some decimal, could be some fraction. So graphing is a really good tool to use when solving these if it comes out to a nice point like 2, 1. But if they happen to intersect at 1.67253, 3.7224789, that's a pretty tough one to get exact on a graph, don't you think? Now we're going to make the ones, for the most part, they're all going to work out nicely. Okay, but as far as applications of this later, especially when you start working with the stuff in physics, you come up with big decimal answers. Okay, and the last question. Do these have any points in common? Yeah, that's called our solution. That's the only point those two lines have in common. It's our solution. A system of linear equations is two more linear equations together. The solution to a system of linear equations is the intersection, the point they have in common. So they're going to ask us this: is the point 4, -3 a solution to that? Well, I could do one of two things. I could graph these and see if they happen to intersect at 4, 3. Or what's another way I could test it? Plug them in. So plug them in. I'll plug into the top. -3 3 equals negative 8 plus 5. Negative 3 equals negative 3. So it works on this one, agreed? Let's plug the same one into this one. So I have my x and y values. So I have 4 plus 2 negative 3 equals negative 2. What is 4 plus negative 6? Negative 2. Is negative 2 equal to negative 2? Yep. Is the point 4 comma 3 the solution of the problem?
Yes.
So if I were to have graphed those two problems, they would intersect at 4 comma negative 3. Does that make sense? Try that next problem. To give you a little bit of a head start on it. Is the point 1 comma 5 solution? What do you think?
No.
So it worked on the green one, correct?
Yes.
So that point exists on our green equation, our green line. It doesn't work here because 5 is not equal to negative 1. So is this the solution to this system? The system being 2 lines? The answer is no. Just it works on 1, yes here, no here, so it is not a solution. Make sense? How many solutions can a system have? Oh, I think I can move these. What kind of lines are those? Parallel. Do parallel lines cross?
No.
What do you think the solution would be? None. Good. So you could have parallel lines, which results in 0 solutions. Cool. We can also get, they look like they could be perpendicular. They definitely cross each other. Do you agree?
They're not.
They don't have to be perpendicular, but they're crossing each other. So they cross. And so you have one solution. And the answer to that problem is whatever that point would be. Any thoughts on what third situation we'd have?
Infinite solutions.
Infinite solutions. When does that happen? Where's the other line?
They're both the same line.
The same line. They lay on top of each other. So it's the exact same line, and if that does take place, this creates, so this is the same line. And some of you are looking at it thinking, well, that's not the same line. Well, one of them's in slope-intercept form, the other one's in standard form. Yes, it is the same line. If you were to graph them, they'd come out the same. So same line, this means you have infinite solutions. Okay, so parallel lines, no solutions. Lines that cross, one solution. The exact same line on top of itself, infinite solutions. Wrong.
How would you know if something has infinite solutions by solving it?
all of the x's and all of the y's fall out, and you get a true statement. You get like 7 equals 7, or 8 equals 8, or 10 equals 10.
Isn't that what we're getting for -2 equals -2 on the last problem?
No. Bless you. We will learn a way when we solve these by substitution, which will be Monday, Tuesday next week. What you basically do for substitution is you would take this, plug it in for the y right here, and solve it, and all of the x's fall out. You'd have like a 4x and a -4x on the same side, they're gone, and then you get it coming out to just being like 10 equals 10 or 6 equals 6. If you were to do that same thing here on no solutions, you get a false statement. You'd get like 7 equals 3. All the x's and y's would cancel out. You're not plugging back in. But we'll get there next week. So you feel okay? All right. How do we solve Systemsgraphy? Well, we just talked about it, right? So let's graph this first line. What's my y-intercept? 1. And my slope would be 3. So I'm going to go from this point. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And I'm going to make a straight line out of it. Cool? Second one. How do I graph this? Which method works? Cover method will totally work. So if I cover up my y value, you get 2x equals 6. So what's x equal to? 3. Remember the cover method finds where it crosses the x and y axis. If I cover up the 2x, what's y equal to? 6. Where does it appear these cross?
1, 4.
1,
1, 4.
1 comma 4. That's what that appears to be. Do you agree?
Yes.
Can we verify that's correct? Sure we can. I can take 1 comma 4 and I can say that's an x y and a y value. Plug it in. I get 4 on the top. 4 equals 3 times 1 plus 1. So 4 equals 3 plus 1. So 4 equals 4. So that works. Plug it into the second one. Same thing. 2 times 1 plus 4 equals 6. 2 plus 4 equals 6. 6 equals 6. Works on both. 1 comma 4 is the solution. Yo!
I missed how you graphed the second equation. How did you do that?
Purple. So I'm using the cover method. So being it's set up in standard form, I'm going to cover this up. 2 times x equals 6. So x equals 3. Y equals 6. So it finds where he crosses the x and y axis. All right. Looks like we got one left, right? The solution is, we just said it. The solution on that was 1 comma 4. How do we know the system works? We plugged it in. We plugged that in. That was right here. This was our check. We wanted to make sure it worked. Plug it into both. Don't just plug it into one. Try on your own. See if you can figure out that one. They're both set up in slope-intercept form. Talk me through this first line. Ram.
The y-intercept is +5.
+5. And the slope is?
Up 1 over 1.
Up 1 over 1. Perfect. Okay. Next one, do black. What's my y-intercept there? 0. What's my slope? Down 4, right 1. Or up 4, left 1, right? Where does it appear they cross at? Appears they cross at -1, 4. How can we double check if that's correct? Plug it into both equations. So -1, 4. That's an x and a y value. Let's plug them in. 4 equals -1 plus 5. So 4 equals 4. That works here. This one, plug it in. 4 equals -4 times -1. 4 is equal to 4. That works. That is our solution. Get it?
Yes.
Feel all right about it? Is that it? Yep. Okay. So your assignment that I will mark off tomorrow, and I know some of you are biting for more points, which is great. So don't allow the last couple assignments to goof you up. It's going to be your assignments on page 153 and 154. I'm also going to hand out your review for the final. So let's talk real quick. What might be a good way to start reviewing for the final? Did we just stop doing any classwork?
No.
Yeah. I would say probably a really good way, being you only have a front and a back of graphing, I'd say a really good way is perhaps tomorrow we should go over 1 through 8 on this study guide. It's the front page. What do you think? Okay, I'll make you a copy. I'll get it to you. Right this second? I'll bring it to you. We'll make a copy out of mine. I'll bring it to you. I'll find you next period. Are you off next period? Where you at? Science class. Do you need 2 courses? Huh? You need the. I didn't know if I copied enough pages for you.
Oh no, I know. Did you ever? This one's your
Yeah, I got busy yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
So guys and girls, you have 15 minutes. Be a good opportunity to start working on